And I think we're live.
Welcome, everyone, to another Late Night Trek Live. Now, it's been a few weeks since we did these, but we thought we'd do another one, and we're not quite ready to move on to Season 4, so we thought we'd do another kind of mop up a few episodes of Season 3.
Yes.
We like to try and find a theme for these, if possible. It's not always possible. But last time we had Lieutenant Worf. We did 2 Worf episodes. Tonight we're doing Doctor Crusher.
Yes.
And we're doing the High Ground, which was the politically sensitive episode, which I think wasn't shown in the UK.
Oh, okay.
For reasons that you will see.
I did not know that.
And also the other slightly unconvincing single episode romance Transfigurations from the end of the season.
Perfect.
Which ties in with one of my other favourite tropes.
Oh.
Of Star Trek in the 90s, which we will get into.
Hello.
Hello, Omar, welcome. We're going to wait a couple of minutes for people to kind of gather. I don't think it will be long.
I'm going to pull up the stream on my phone so that I can
There's
see the
Stephen.
comments.
Watching
Hello,
F.
Stephen.
Stephen's here. Had a crusher on Doctor Crusher. Didn't we all? Didn't we all?
Yes, well, I'm not really surprised High Ground was banned.
Yes, so...
Oh, High Ground, sorry. For some reason, I read that. I read the Irish episode.
It was
and
not...
I
yeah.
thought Up the Long Ladder.
Yeah, I remember that as... well, the problem with that episode is not that there's anything... especially Irish about it. It's a single line that Data says that was the contentious issue.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Which you will see. We will get to that when we discuss it.
See, when I just read Stephen's comment and I saw the Irish episode, and I thought he meant Up the Long Ladder, and I was not going to be surprised that that got banned.
Right. Funnily enough, I don't think that one got banned. I think that one was shown, if I remember correctly.
That is shocking.
So yes, we'll just wait around a couple more minutes, and then we'll get started. Let's say we'll get started at 9:35.
There we go. Good plan. So, get the High Ground up if you plan to watch along.
So we'll be starting with Season 3, episode, I think it's 12, The High Ground.
Let's
And
confirm that.
we'll be doing, yes, it's episode 12. And then we'll be doing episode 25, Transfigurations, after a quick break. A brief break.
Remember Wednesday, SPD?
Oh god, that was from Ed's stream.
Oh.
The jokes from Ed's stream. Yeah, that was quite funny.
Okay.
Good stuff. Right, so eventually what we would love to do is to do live watch parties for some of the Star Trek movies.
Yes.
Probably not all of them exactly, but probably just our favourite ones. Obviously, since Star Trek the Motion Picture is coming out on Blu-ray in a beautiful new
We're going to wait
restored...
until that comes out.
Yeah, they're restoring the negatives, so it's going to be a lovely kind of Blu-ray upgrade for that film, which I think has been done from the negatives. It's been done from nothing, so it's probably the best the movie has ever looked. And it also is the director's cut, which includes some stuff that they changed. I think it was in like 2001 or so. So like there's a few exterior shots of Vija that they finished.
Oh, that's exciting.
They did it with Robert Wise's, who's the director. They did it with Robert Wise's supervision, and so because obviously the director's cut, but they added a few shots that they essentially couldn't finish in 1979. So it allowed him a chance to essentially put things in the film that he'd always wanted to have there, like the exterior bits at the end where they're walking around on the exterior of the Enterprise.
Yes.
So yeah.
Very exciting. When is that coming out again?
That is later this summer. Omar Zambon will know because he's into his Blu-ray releases,
Indeed.
so he's up on that. He'll know when motion picture's coming out. years.
I'm not surprised at all. The Conspiracy was banned.
Conspiracy was quite a one. I think at some point we have to do surprisingly horrific episodes
There
of
we
Star
go.
Trek.
There
That
we
will
go.
be a theme. Before we came on, we were trying to decide what our theme would be.
Mm-hmm.
We had, well, we'll get into that, because there's a couple of themes that I really like. Obviously, an obvious one is to do a Borg theme, or to do a Q theme, or to do, I don't know, Picard's speeches, or something like that. But you can also do tropes like somebody comes on the Enterprise and pretends to be something other than they are, or romance episodes or something.
I still want a Q marathon.
We will do a Q marathon.
And I want that to cross shows.
Well, it kind of has to, because you've got several episodes in Voyager that develop the Q quite considerably.
I think the Voyager Q episodes are great. I love them.
Right. And they spend a whole 2 episodes in the Q continuum, which is kind of wild.
The last episode of TOS was banned by the BBC and wasn't shown until the 90s because it promoted BDSM.
Huh?
What?
You mean... Wait. Which episode is that? It's not Let This Be Your Last Battlefield.
I have questions.
Or is it what's that one called? The one where Kirk gets transferred into the body of a lady, and the lady takes over command. That's one of the really sexist ones. It's quite bad. Anyway, we are now past our starting time, so let us now
pull up the
take a moment to get your episode queued up, which we are currently doing on our, thankfully, now functional Netflix.
Yay.
Client. Stop.
It's
I'm trying, it's putting... It's not responsive.
It's fine.
There we go.
Good.
Got it. I got it.
Oh, technology.
Omar, I'm not sure we can handle that. Q Marathon including Picard Season 2. I just can't consider anything made after 2009 canon. I just can't.
We will be doing a Q Marathon, but we will not be doing Picard Season 2
Yeah.
because from the little I've seen, I think that they have irreparably changed his character in a way that proves that they do not understand his character to begin with. And that is all I will say on the matter.
We've gone in hard on the new shows in a big way.
Yes.
The one thing I do really like is I really like Lower Decks.
Yes.
However, we can't do a commentary to that because it's entirely jokes,
Yep.
and it would just be pointless.
And you can't talk over it. There's no point. So we'll just say, go watch Lower Decks. Shall we cue in the boys and girls?
I think we are ready. So.
Oh, he's joking. All right,
Good.
thank you.
I'm glad to hear that, Omar. I'm glad you hadn't just fallen down and hit your head or something. So we are ready with Season 3, Episode 12, The High Ground. If you would like to watch along, get your timestamp to the old 0, and at the sound of the now, press play now.
Very good. Well done.
I think we might have to put subtitles on. There we go. Fine.
We're fine. Almost disaster.
I'm not too worried. This is a watch party, so I'm not too worried about the exact shots lining up. As long as they more or less line up. They've gone to the planet of boring.
They've gone to the planet of blue jumpsuits.
Blue jumpsuits, generic 90s modernist architecture, and plants. Lots of plants.
I do like all the plants, to be fair. And skunk hairdos. There's a lot of skunk hairdos on this planet,
Frosted
if I remember
windows.
right. Yep, there's a skunk hairdo. There's a skunk hairdo behind Data. There's one over on the right. Ooh, there we go. We're not wasting any time. Look at that piece of column that just...
Yep.
Like, very clearly pre-broken piece of column.
To be fair, on a 90s budget, I do find this episode quite nicely done.
Oh, it is very nicely done.
It's quite dramatic. Because I think by the time the early 2000s rolled around, and you had things like 24 that were trying to discuss things like terrorism and trying to portray terrorism in a serious way, it ended up looking much more gritty and dark. And so these things look a little bit maybe less hard-hitting by comparison, but I still think this is really terrific. Actually.
Oh, I do too.
It's actually very good.
I had never noticed that all of the skunk hairdos were actually a conscious decision, because we've seen like 5 of them already.
Yeah, I think that's actually their species or something.
So yeah, you can't talk over Dr. Tana, you just can't.
So we got a lovely...
Pulaski!
I think we've got a very nice introduction of Doctor Crusher here. We should probably talk about Doctor Crusher since we're doing Doctor Crusher.
I suppose we are, aren't we?
But it introduces her, she leaps straight to action, and we have a great character thing, which is, Data's like, we can get out of here, this is dangerous, we can just beam up.
Yeah.
We don't have to stick around.
You mean more?
No, that was Data, wasn't it?
Oh, Data. I thought you said... Right, you said Data, and I thought you said Riker.
I did not.
I'm confused. It's okay.
Crusher says, the physicians on this planet aren't here, I am, I can help. And that's telling you her character, basically. Is she,
And she's
that's it. She's willing to take a risk to help out.
And she's willing to push Picard a bit farther than anyone else would. She's one of the few that can really get away with it.
It's because he trusts her, and also because on some level they are kind of more equals than anybody else in the crew, because of course, the classic thing in Star Trek is the Doctor is the only one that can give the captain, that can countermand an order by the captain in medical matters.
Plus you can also tell that Crusher and Picard have some kind of history.
Oh no.
And, yep, and there goes Crusher. Yeah, I think Guinan and Crusher are kind of the only two that can really get away with pushing Picard around a little bit.
So crazy. I think that's the one thing about once Guinan was more seriously a part of the show, is it sort of nerfed Dr. Crusher a little bit. Because I think that was originally what Dr. Crusher's role was supposed to be. She was supposed to be the confidant to the captain,
I think they should have done a little bit more with that.
That's a good question. Would this episode have happened with Dr. Pulaski?
No.
I don't know that it would.
No, I don't think it would.
Pulaski's portrayed as being very professional, but she's a different character. She's so ambitious. Remember, there's that one called Unnatural Selection, where she's so determined to solve the mystery of the rapid aging that she ends up putting herself at serious risk and nearly getting herself killed, basically.
I also kind of think that, when Picard said, get back to the ship, and Crusher said, no, I have to stay here, Picard let her stay. I don't think he would have done that for Pulaski. I think he would have said, no, get back to the ship.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have given her quite as much room.
And also there's a beautiful, subtle little thing in Patrick Stewart's performance there, which is that you can see he's worried about her. You can see he wants her not to be in direct harm's way. Because he's seen this happen before with other crew members who stuck around in a dangerous situation too long and then something bad happened.
It definitely wouldn't have happened with Dr. Bashir.
Right, well that's another type of Doctor character altogether, which I think was a smart decision to all the Doctors are very different.
They are.
You've got grumpy Dr. McCoy in the original series, you've got Crusher, who's sort of motherly but also, quite savvy and very, very proper scientist. And she's always like, there's got to be an explanation. Then you've got Bashir, who's kind of lovesick young puppy who's obsessed with Dax for ages. And then you've got a hologram in Voyager, who's something else entirely.
Who's very self-absorbed. And then you have one of my favourites.
Of course, Dr. Phlox.
You can't forget Phlox.
I did not forget Dr. Phlox. I was waiting for you to mention something. We have his signature over there on the base of the NX-01.
Okay. Rank the Star Trek Doctors. Your personal ranking.
Ooh. That's going to be
personal
hard.
ranking. Everyone in the chat as well. You may or may not include Dr. Tana. That is up to you.
Dr. Tana will be on my list.
Yeah.
I think she counts. However, I'm going to go...
Are we starting from the bottom or the top?
This is best at the top.
Okay.
I'm going to go... Because that's easier for me, I think. We're going to go Hologram Doctor from Voyager. Doc Zimmerman, as he was originally called. Robert Picardo from Voyager. I think I'm putting him first, just because his performance is so delightful.
It is pretty good.
Second to that, I'm going to say McCoy.
Okay.
I love McCoy. Yeah, EMH. There you go. Stephen agrees with me. He's with me on this. Secondly, McCoy, because I love the original series and the original series movies so much, and they really give him some lovely things to do and all of
Mm-hmm.
And despite his grouchiness, he is actually very wise. There are lots of moments where he really shows his kind of perspective and helps Kirk out. He's kind of a confidant to Kirk in a way that Spock isn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's kind of the classic thing about the original series is that Kirk is the synthesis. He's the kind of combination of Kirk and of Spock, and McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
So when Discovery, I know this is a ground character.
That's fine. I'm writing down my list as we go.
Yeah. So when Discovery has Michael Burnham explain to Spock 10 years before the original series that Spock needs to go out and find his opposite and find the person that's most distant from you and seek them and let them guide you and all of that crap. They're referring to Kirk there, which is wrong. It's not Kirk he should seek out. It's McCoy, because McCoy is his opposite. That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, end of that discussion. So, 2 is McCoy, right?
Yep.
3rd, I'm putting Dr. Tanner.
Excellent.
4th, I think I'm going to have to go Dr. Crusher, I'm afraid. I just find her a little bit underused, and that's part of the thing I want to discuss this evening. Last, I'm sorry, I have to put Bashir.
You forgot Pulaski.
Oh shit, I forgot Pulaski. Alright, Pulaski's after that, because she doesn't... I think it's unfair to put Pulaski. She doesn't get a 7-season kind of development the way that the others did.
Very good listing. Where'd you put Phlox?
I've got Phlox. No.
There's a lot of them, to be fair.
Oh god. Phlox. No, I'm sorry, Dr. Tanner. I'm putting Phlox above Dr. Tanner. This is the most ridiculous list that I've gotten very confused. Alright, what's Annalise's version?
Oh gosh, okay, I had a very hard time with this.
This is the most BuzzFeed thing we've ever done.
I don't care. I had a very hard time with this, and I'm probably gonna get some hate for it. Okay, alright, I had to write one out. Top of the list is Phlox.
Nice,
I love Phlox.
He's great.
He's such a wonderful, quirky character with all of his menagerie of creatures.
And John Billingsley, he's a great actor, really enjoyable.
He's phenomenal, and he was so nice.
A very sweet man too. Yeah.
Under that, EMH.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
After that, Dr. Tana.
Nice.
Crusher.
Yeah.
McCoy.
Wow.
I like McCoy.
Wow.
The thing is, all of the top 5 I really like.
Yeah.
And then we jump down a couple of ranks and we hit Bashir.
Okay.
And then we drop down to the basement and we hit Pulaski.
I see.
I really just like Pulaski.
Pulaski, I think, did not work, and that's one of the reasons they decided in season 3 to go back to Crusher.
I do not like her. But the thing is, the top 5, Phlox through McCoy, they're all really close.
Sure.
But Phlox is
They're almost equal, yeah.
Phlox is a very strong first.
So, there's some good stuff here in this episode, which is, she's kind of, the Federation rock up at all these different planets, right, to check out how things are going. And they've got their lovely, safe, fancy spaceships with all of their amazingly advanced technology, which is more advanced than anybody else that they're going to. Which is kind of an interesting position. There aren't too many, before this at least, there weren't too many other sci-fi shows that portrayed humanity as being the most advanced, effectively. And so she's essentially saying, well, it's not so easy if you were the one running the police as I am.
Yeah.
And you kind of get the sense that she's she might be dangerous because she's so ambitious about beating these terrorists that she's willing to go to any lengths, and that's kind of the problem of the episode, is like, what lengths do you go to try and balance the power here?
And they do a good job at establishing your worry about that reasonably early on.
I've got charming, suave Mr. Man.
Yes.
He's twisted. He's kind of a gothic character in a way, because he's kind of your, I don't know, like a Gormenghast, or he's kind of, he's attractive and charismatic, but very twisted. And he's doing what he believes is right, but he's doing awful things in the aim of getting his way,
Yep. And they did cast him very well, because it's hard to get all of those things together of, like you just said, he's suave and charming, but he's also terrifying, and you don't quite know why you want to like him. Right. It's like, you're the leader of a terrorist group, I shouldn't kind of like you.
Well, he's also got, like, look at that. He does not blink when he looks at her.
No.
He's got an incredibly piercing gaze. I think that's really... Maybe I am saying Heathcliff, yeah.
The mom jeans are not quite the look, but...
The mom jeans. I knew Stephen would have my back with the literary references. He's always good up on that.
Stephen says his doctor ranking was EMH,
okay.
Dr. Tana,
yeah.
Shear, Phlox,
right.
McCoy, Crusher, and Pulaski doesn't make the list.
Nice. Well, that's actually pretty close to mine, I think. It's pretty close to my ranking.
And Omar said Picardo is definitely his number one.
Correct. I'm glad that Picardo is so popular. And then David Tennant is top Doctor from any series. Nice.
And yet, Annalise Pulaski is one of the better ones. A crotchety cat doctor who needs to play in a box. I love Dr. Tana. Absolutely love Dr. Tana. At some point, I think I'm going to try and cosplay as Dr. Tana.
That would be good.
I think I can do great Dr. Tana.
I have to say, I quite liked her season 4-5 get up where she had the blue coat, which they bring back for Dr. Tana.
Yes.
But it's like a little bit ragged.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Doctor Crusher, is I really think she's a great character, great actress, that is just chronically underutilized.
Now, the other reason I wanted to bring this episode up is that I think this is a really good example of an analogy episode, where these are the things that, in my opinion, current Star Trek is doing very, very wrong. Because what they'll do in modern day stuff is that they won't use an analogy. They'll just pretty much put exactly... They'll hint at something real life. For instance, in Discovery Season 1, what's his name? Jason Isaacs. Phil and Jason Isaacs, the secret asshole from the Mirror Universe, says, we're going to make the Mirror Universe, the Terran Empire, glorious again. And you're all supposed to look at each other and go, oh,
it's like the thing.
Commentary. But this doesn't do that.
No.
It's very obvious, if you're watching this in whenever this was made, 1991 or something, it's very obvious what it could be talking about, what current day situations might be, might have inspired them to make this episode. But it's a little different. And they make the classic thing with a Star Trek analogy episode is they simplify it a lot. It's got very black and white. It's like, these guys are the terrorists, these guys are the civilians, and these are the police, and this is the technology they use. These, it's a nice, it's a well tied up little knot.
Yes. It's a neat little bow.
Yeah, it's not a neat little bow. It's more like it's a little cat's cradle that they've got to spend the episode unpicking.
Yes.
Yes.
And there's her motivation. If they turn again, this very weird piece of decor on the far side of the wall.
Angel 1. Oh, Stephen. We will talk about that episode someday.
We most definitely will.
At some point, we will go into the depths of Season 1, and we will pick out a whole bunch of real bad.
A theme. Season 1, real bad.
Real bad.
That's going to be its
I don't think we can do, what's it called? Code of Honor. I just don't think...
we're not going anywhere.
I'm not touching that. I'm sorry.
No.
Can't go near it.
But we will do Horny Spaceballs.
The Naked Now, yeah.
Yeah. That's what we call that episode.
Horny Spaceballs.
That's what we call that episode here.
Which is a reference to an episode of, Junk Ball Media. Horny Spaceballs flew.
Wait, is that a reference? I thought that's just what we called it.
That's where that comes from.
Oh.
He says that the Enterprise B crew, in non-canon sources, in like books and stuff, the Enterprise B crew gets killed by an unknown disease. And he has a clip of that episode and says possibly space hornballs flew.
Excellent.
It's very funny. So, the point of this episode being they need Dr. Crusher because they're using this dangerous transporting technology. And they need her to try and...
That slowly kills you.
Yes. They need them to But of course, she's got a very dangerous situation because she probably can. She probably can figure out what it is that's killing them. But in so doing, it would mean that they were unstoppable.
Yeah, but I think she does actually imply at some point, I can't actually stop this. This is going to just keep destroying you. Mm-hmm. You need to stop. And he said, no, we can't because this is our cause. And she said, so you're just going to keep killing yourself. And he said, yeah. So actually, I do think she comes to the conclusion that there's nothing she can do about it. Though that would have actually been a really good plot point if they had done that. She realizes she could cure them. I
don't remember what happened. Well, we'll have to see.
There we go.
But it's the moral dilemma of the episode. And here you go. There's the dark side of it that Crusher is contending with. There's several episodes where Data and Wesley have to figure out a way to get Wesley's mum back from things. Either from this crazy thing, or there's the one where she falls into like a weird pocket universe that's collapsing.
Yeah. And pull her out of it.
Yeah. I loved stuff like that. I loved like wacky sci-fi concepts that they would explore. And the science doesn't have to matter. It doesn't have to work. The point is that it's a puzzle. Can they solve the puzzle?
Sorry, Stephen's description of Agent 1 is really funny.
It's very good.
Picard catches a cold and Riker is dressed like my aunt after 5 drinks at a wedding.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that cool breeze coming through the window.
I know, it's been crazy hot. Please don't bring up data law like that. Data law.
Does that count as a pun? I'm going to take that as a no.
Mm-hmm. No, there's the episode Data Law.
I know. That's right.
I think those are 90s airport waiting room seats.
Those are some very large ferns.
Those are a lot,
They're quite nice. I'm very impressed by the ferns.
They got everybody a bit of that, like, whatever that powder is you put in your hair to make you look like old man.
Oh, it's a spray.
Yeah. But they did it only in the skunk pattern.
The skunk stripe. Do you see the Poltergeist is getting a 4K release for Halloween?
Poltergeist.
I can't say we follow horror films or the horror genre very much.
I haven't watched it, but I'm told it's good.
We've watched a few horror films that Red Letter Media put us onto, but it's mostly classics.
Sure. Like I've watched The Thing, or we watched Halloween, or Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Yeah. I mean, all of those were really Valverde ones.
Also, there's...
Day of the Dead. Yeah.
That's the genre of, like, classic psychological horror.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten into real body horror or gore horror. Neither of those is really my thing. I mean, obviously, The Thing does have a little bit of body horror, but that's not the point. I think that's what the difference is. That's not the point of it.
So, I think one of the interesting things about that they do with the police chief is that you think the police chief character, the way she holds herself and the way she walks around, you can tell that at one point they may have written that character as a man, and they flipped it. And I think it was really interesting what they did by flipping it.
Yeah.
By making her this kind of battle-hardened warrior type. You know?
Yeah.
And it also makes her an interesting counterpart with Riker, because Riker has also seen some horrifying shit in his time in Starfleet, so the two of them can kind of level on that.
And it might be one of the few times that Riker interacts with a female character without flirting with her.
Yeah, true. Oh, so now he sees himself as George Washington, which is... Ooh.
Yes.
History written by the victors, well... Oh, you bring up an inconvenient point.
I mean, he's not entirely wrong, but it's kind of irrelevant to the point he's trying to make.
the thing is, I think he's painting a slightly incorrect, mischaracterized picture of what the Federation is, because the Federation don't go conquering. That's the whole point. You can only join the Federation once you've reached a sufficient level of advancement.
And then we have the Klingons.
Well, they never joined the Federation.
Oh, you're right. Silly me.
They have an alliance at one stage, but they don't join it.
Yes, silly me. Don't report me. Don't take my nerd card.
No, you're okay. See, look, she's always got her hands behind her back. You can tell that they wrote that character as a man, and then they decided to change it.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I'm sensing. But I think she plays it really brilliantly. And the high-collared neck and the kind of...
the stance.
Yeah. She's also very well cast because she's got very strong features and stuff. It's all brilliant. It's all brilliantly done.
Tightly put back hair.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very tiny chair.
Nice to make him feel, lesser. It's a classic.
I don't think Riker would fit in that chair.
Yeah. This is peak Riker, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Mid-season 3.
Oh, yeah.
This would be, 1990, I think this episode was.
I just noticed she has a black stripe in her hair.
Oh, interesting, okay.
The men have white stripes and the women have black stripes. Okay, sure. Sure.
Riker finds terrorists sexy again. Finds him saying, Ro Laren.
Oh, boy.
Nice. Sorry, I read the upper. I do that all the time. I jump line upwards sometimes. Now, I have to recommend a Twitter account called Riker Googling, which is where Commander Riker has mistaken his Twitter app, for his Google search bar. And it's things like Blue Screen of Death, Galaxy Class Enterprise, Mac OS 2014. It's great.
Oh, and HR regulations and things. Oh god, so funny. If you have not looked at that account, please do.
Yeah, it's
treat yourself.
It's every single tweet. Clearly, it's just a guy who thinks of these things and then tweets them out, and that's all they are. And they're often very topical too.
They are. Plus, Riker would probably have flirted with Thomas Riker if he could. I mean, very good looking.
Here we go. Terrorism is an effective way to promote political change.
Is that the line that got it banned?
And that, political power flows from the barrel of a gun, that's Chairman Mao. I think it is anyway. Here we go. Irish Unification of 2024, in 2 years. That line alone was enough to get it banned. Because at the time, tensions were extremely high. So I don't remember ever having watched this as a kid, because they wouldn't have shown it.
Okay.
I think it has now probably been shown.
I would think.
But it's one of only 2 episodes that were never shown in the UK, that and Conspiracy, where they just were like, what the why is there all this gore? This is Star Trek, this is crazy, this isn't David Cronenberg.
You'd think that they would have thought. At the time to maybe cut out that line, or at least make a version of it without that line.
It's never been shown by the BBC. Interesting, because it's been shown on British television before. Because I think I've watched it on the Horror Channel shows a lot of TNG and stuff. John joins us. John joins us.
Hello, John.
John's here. So yeah, we're midway through. I can give you a time code if you want, John. We're on Season 3, Episode 12, The High Ground, and we're just coming up on 27 minutes.
But we can give you an exact time code if you want to join us. So let us know. And then we'll be watching a second episode.
So yeah, the second episode we'll watch will be called Season 3, Transfigurations. Remnants.
Was the X-File episode Home shown here? I can't say I've watched any X-Files.
I don't know too much X-Files. I know a couple of X-Files episodes that I remember watching when they were on. There was a really scary one where there was some sort of monster that was floating around inside some apartment building.
Ooh.
That was like a kind of weird white goo monster.
Oh, no, thank you.
But it would take people over and turn them into goo. It was really horrible. But they couldn't get out of this. There was like a crazy hurricane outside. It had blown something in from the deep sea into Florida.
Okay.
Or something like that. And they were hiding in this one apartment building while the storm blew over. But they realised they were trapped in there with a crazy goo monster.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So here we go. We've got a great action scene now where somebody shoots an extra and they're going to try and take out the Enterprise in order to send a signal, right? Take out the Federation flagship.
Yep. Good luck with that.
Now these dopes in engineering, none of them are armed, they're not wearing phasers, they ain't got nothing. Oh god. Now those look like very nasty guns.
Enterprise, to be fair, you are the flagship of the Federation. This shouldn't be able to happen.
True, but they've never seen this type of transporting technology. They can just beam on wherever they want and it's completely undetectable.
Yeah. Ooh, I did forget that we're at that interesting stage in Season 3 where half of the people have the old uniforms and half of the crew have the new uniforms.
Yeah, so some of the extras still have like those
piping lines.
Yeah, the uncomfortable lycra ones. Now some very quick thinking by Geordie here.
Go, Geordie, go!
Saves the ship. This is another episode where everyone gets to do something very good.
Indeed.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Stand by for source of separation. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Come on, Geordie. I feel like it's...
he got the Velcro off.
I was going to say, that's...
Look, there's a patch of Velcro on the back! Beautiful. It might be on like a magnetic strip or something.
That's the one thing about this episode is I feel like... Very good.
Wow.
I feel like it shouldn't have been that easy to take off. Like, he does kind of just...
He just tickles it with an orange beam.
Yeah.
But it makes for a very exciting little, oh shit, action scene. It got really serious. Trying to take out the Enterprise.
Go, Picard!
Look at that action, yeah!
You don't get
Look at
to
that
see
stunt
that
double.
much. I was going to say, I bet if you paused that, you could have seen the stunt double.
Oh, it's some serious stunt double action.
We don't get to see Picard punch people much. That's always fun.
Now that's one of those things where Patrick Stewart had asked for more action, right?
No, definitely. I mean, Picard, you realize you're not the action star here. I really dislike the season 1 and 2 uniforms. The lack of neck collar is weird.
It is a bit odd, yeah. I just think I definitely prefer it once there's a... Like, Picard looks so much better with that smart collar, you know?
No, it definitely gets better.
I think this era of uniform and the Voyager one's best for me.
That's really not funny. We'll make funny, Jodie.
Oh, right. Yeah, he does a lot of Action Man stuff. I know, but that's the movies. By that point, yeah, I know, he punches the Malcolm McDowell. Oh, gosh. The Next Gen movies.
There are parts of them that are fun.
The thing is, I always used to love them as a kid, and I used to uncritically just enjoy them because, they're Star Trek movies, they got all the actors I like, they got the Enterprise. I loved the Enterprise E.
Yes.
The long one, the really sleek one.
That's a beautiful
That
ship.
was That was my favourite Enterprise when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It is now no longer my favourite because I've come to appreciate the other ones a lot better. But
it's still a nice ship.
Now, I hadn't watched that much original or TNG series, so I didn't really know the characters and how they were written on the show compared to the film. So I think people like, obviously, Mike Stacklasa from Red Letter Media, who watched the Next Gen religiously.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you'd think they would make as a film of Next Gen is not what they made, basically.
That said, them on the Enterprise sailing ship, I will always love that scene. When Worf is getting promoted,
nice, yeah.
I will always love that scene.
Go
on. Steven says, here's a question. Which of the captains do you guys think actually suit having a fist fight?
Oh, come on, Kirk and Sisko.
And Sisko, yeah.
Sisko's a maniac.
I'm going to say mostly Sisko.
Oh, yeah, Sisko's a complete lunatic.
Oh, yeah.
You betrayed your uniform! He goes like completely nuts in that bit in season 5.
Yeah, Steven, I think I'm going to put Sisko at the top of that pile. I love, especially in the Q episode where Sisko decks him, and Q's like, Picard never hit me. I'm not Picard. I love that.
He should have looked directly to camera and said it. I'm not Picard, I'm different. I'm a different character.
That's a good line. Are you arguing for men who may have murdered your son? But you tried to. Not Archer. Yeah, Archer's in that pile.
Archer, when you push him, goes bonkers.
I think
he
Archer
goes way out there.
I think Archer can throw a punch, but if I was gonna throw him into a ring, I think Sisko's the one walking out.
Okay, yeah. Sisko will claw your eyes out. Sisko's a lunatic. You do not want to. Yeah.
Well, he's a properly trained boxer.
He's
I think
an
he
animal.
can just knock your lights out.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying he does not believe in pulling his punches.
Oh no. This was great. It really is.
So I haven't honestly been paying very close attention to the subtitles, but is there any suggestion that the government of Rutia is repressive, possibly? Have they muddled it? Have they muddied the waters a little bit here?
I mean, I think they try and show you that there's kind of two sides to the story, but it's not too terribly... That's the one thing, is that it's not too terribly clear that these guys actually have a just cause. Right.
Well, that's the thing, is there's a... Maybe I'm confusing that with The Hunted, which is another episode I really like. Actually, I sometimes confuse it with this one, because it also takes place in a kind of boring interior grey courtyard with plants.
Oh yeah, that is a good one.
Where you've got Space Jonathan Haidt, who plays a brainwashed military, hit crack commando kind of guy, who beats the Enterprise, and because their government is repressive. Like they've won peace at the cost of these soldiers, and they don't know what to do with them. Right. I don't think this is going to work out.
No. I think the best you get is just stop bringing aid, but I don't think the Federation's going to blockade the planet for you.
Well, it's one of those situations where it's like, well, clearly this is not going to get easily resolved, is it?
No. Oh, notice nobody said Janeway as someone who would be into fisticuffs. I think Janeway's above that, to be honest.
No, she'll just torpedo you ass.
Fire at will.
I think if provoked, she could get in a good punch. But I really think it would be it would be the last resort for her.
I think it would be like the 6th resort.
Okay.
I don't think it would be the last. She's remarkably trigger happy when it suits her.
Trigger happy, yes.
Yes.
I just think she's a bit above it, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, Janeway's my favorite captain. I just think, I don't think she's really the punching type.
Mm-hmm. This is another episode which essentially results in them going back to Starfleet. And, here's all the list of planets that you visited in the last 6 months. And there's a little exclamation point next to this one, and the one from The Hunted, and a couple of others. Just
boy.
like, yeah, these guys got some problems.
Come back in 50 years.
Yeah. Let's give them some time. They are not getting into the Federation anytime soon.
They are not right yet. Yeah, Stephen, I think Janeway's a weapons person. I'm inclined to agree. Weapons and words.
Well, there's the one where they try to make her into a kind of like Ripley-style badass, where she's fighting the macro-viruses.
I loved that episode.
It is good, but it is a little bit of an Aliens.
I love it.
Rip-off.
I love it. I love it. Seeing Janeway being all badass with a giant gun.
It's pretty cool,
It's great.
But it sort of reminds me a little bit of when they have Picard do Die Hard on the Enterprise D.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to. I actually remember watching that as a kid.
I don't know. Let them have their moment.
The Baryon sweep. He's right at the end of the ship. He's in 10 forward, right up against the wall. He's like, disengage the Baryon sweep.
Crusher gets a good moment here, though.
This is a great episode for her, I think.
It's a great moment to, tell them off. Too late for that.
I guess she's... Oh, wow. It's a very nice drawing, actually.
It is.
Next time you kill anyone, just think of my eyes, beaming into you. That looks like a Xerox.
Well, those are her eyes.
Yeah, I know, but that's what she should say back. She should give it back and say, next time you... Because that's the thing, is she kind of gets under his skin.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wants to listen to her. He likes her, but she's the one, more than anybody else, everybody else worships him. She's the one that can actually kind of make him reconsider potentially what he's doing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Janeway would straight up ice pick you in the spine. Owen's right. None of us mentioned Captain Pike.
Fair play, yeah, Captain Pike. That's good, Captain.
I still say Sisko's the one walking out of that ring.
Holding a severed arm. He just drops it and walks off.
I mean, that said, I don't think Sisko would hit a woman, so maybe Janeway has an advantage there. Or if your ever so sparkly sash isn't really helping with the stealth thing.
They use this cave set over and over again. It gets used in Deep Space Nine and Voyager 50 times.
They worked very hard on all that paper mache.
I think it looks actually really good.
Oh, I
quite like. Yes, this is a great moment.
Crowd's like, oh fuck.
Oh, this is very useful.
I don't know.
No, this is great. She didn't want to use him like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Picard's like, yes, okay, strategy. This is what we do.
Yeah, he doesn't think twice about it.
Ooh, now.
No. Ugh.
Ah!
Every time.
That was such a little tease. Such a tease. Is that the first time they overtly, in a like proper post season 3 character way, implied that they were maybe destined to be a couple?
I think so.
Because obviously in season 1 there's the horribly cringeworthy, I haven't had the comfort of a man.
Oh god.
Which is in The Naked Now.
Yes, of course. There we go.
I love how Picard looks there. It's a bit like Bond. Picard's like, nah, you're not killing me.
You're not how I go.
That's not how this happens. I'm going to get turned into a robot in about 20, 30 years. Oh god, Sheridan versus Sisko.
That's a
well,
great
Sheridan,
one.
because Sheridan would just nuke Sisko.
Exactly.
I mean...
Nuke 'em Sheridan.
It's an imperfect solution for... Ah, yes. I don't live in your fancy Star Trek Enterprise. Ooh, oh god, I forgot about this.
Mm-hmm. This is the kid that she saw before.
Yeah. Or no, it's not that kid, but it's the principal of the kid. It's the same kid. I don't know if
it's
it
the
is.
same kid.
Because they arrest the other kid.
Did they? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They carry him off. You do see this kid before. Now, that's interesting. Has Crusher perhaps changed
Changed the title.
changed the culture? Yeah.
It's true.
Ah, there's the moral. Stop the violence for long enough to talk. Who's that? Maud Adams there flying the Enterprise. Look at that. From like Octopussy,
Yeah. Why do his pants not zip all the way up?
I know that is odd, isn't it?
It always bothers me.
It doesn't look deliberate. It looks like a mistake.
It really doesn't look deliberate. Also you, Captain.
Picard's just ready. He's like,
Yep.
I just want to get out of here.
At your convenience.
Sooner we're out of here, I can go and have a shower and wank. I'm just done with today. Hate getting captured. Sucks.
Third time this month.
Yeah.
And there we have it.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a couple of minutes to just kind of defrag between this and the next episode. But of course, bloodthirsty Netflix wants us to just go to the next episode, get to the next episode. Don't have 2 seconds to think for yourself.
Was that English?
It's Netflix ease.
Ah, okay, Netflix ease.
Tell you what, would you actually want to just shut the window so we don't get any boobs in?
I suppose, with a nice cool evening breeze.
Right, I'm going to have a cuckoo.
Oh, keep the plants out of the window. There we go.
Sound like Hans Gruber.
Window's closed.
Alright, so the next episode we're doing tonight is going to be called... It's Season 3, Episode 25, Transfigurations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll get started on that one in like 2 minutes. So let's say 10:26, I guess. I'm just going to get it queued up myself so I'm ready.
Indeed. So you have a couple minutes.
There we go.
Well done.
Which starts with exactly the same shot as
just
the other
about
one.
to say.
I mean, it's one of the stock shots they used of that 6-foot model.
I know, it's just very funny when you do one after another. I had not noticed that before.
I have a bit of a thing about apps and websites, whatever they are. Netflix is particularly bad for this. Although YouTube has its way too, where if you hover over something for too long, it starts playing it. And if you don't click off it, it will just start the movie. But even when you finish something, it wants you to go immediately on to the next thing.
Yes. Yes. Can I just go, grab a glass of water, please?
Yeah, it's like a drug peddler. You know? Try this one. Make you feel good.
Yeah. Except drug peddler, after your 7th episode, doesn't say, "Are you still watching? Should we call for help?"
Mm-hmm. Is your bottom now part of the couch?
Who out of the Voyager crew do you think managed to make it to captain? Ooh,
well, there's a very obvious one.
Mm-hmm.
You can see his ship just there. It's the USS Rhode Island. Granted, it's an alternate future.
Who ends up captaining that?
Captain Harry Kim.
I was going to ask if it was Kim. Okay.
Captain Harry Kim. He does make it. That's canon. He made it to captain in an alternate universe, which means he made it to captain.
I most certainly think he'll make it to captain. He makes it to captain. I like that. I don't know that he'll captain Voyager.
No, that's not really how it works. I mean, you make it to the rank of captain, then you get your own. You get a different ship.
So who's going to captain Voyager?
Well, obviously Riker gets Prometheus, or no, Titan eventually. Which for the longest time, Titan was not a lunar class the way the one you had. Titan was always a Prometheus class in my head, because I think it was hinted at somewhere. I think they were thinking about showing it in the movie that was not, that shall not be named, but they decided against it, or that shot was cut or something. And it was going to be not that design, because that's a fan design, effectively. But it was going to be the four-engined arrowhead shape Prometheus design.
Honestly, I don't think there's anyone on Voyager crew that could be the next captain.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be Tom Paris, is it?
No.
It's certainly not going to be 7 of 9. And it's Chakotay? No. Disgrace, you know. All the Voyager crew.
It's not going to be B'Elanna.
No, it can't be any of the marquee people. The Doctor can't be it. Tuvok's not command anyway. He's security and operations.
Yeah, I mean, Tuvok is the only one that I think could almost be disposed to it, but nah, I don't think that they have a captain.
So Harry Kim is it, basically.
Yeah. If anyone, it would probably, I think, Harry Kim.
Tuvok does not take command at any point. I think that's largely Chakotay. And that's, you've got to remember, of course, that's a kind of matter of convenience thing.
Mm-hmm. I think Tuvok is missing a couple of traits that you need to be a captain, to be honest.
Right. We are ready for the second episode. So this is going to be Season 3, Episode 25, Transfigurations.
Indeed.
So if you want to watch along, get your old timestamp to the 4 zeros. And at the sound of the now, press play. Now.
There we go.
So this one is the reason I picked this is that it's an example of another trope that I love in TNG. That's such a cheesy trope, but they keep doing it, which is somebody comes on board the Enterprise and they're not what you think.
What are these pedestrian clothes?
Oh, now, this is the continuation of a little plot element.
What, Geordi can't flirt?
No, because this is one of the ladies. This is the lady from Booby Trap that he's trying to get with.
Ah, okay.
Christy, right?
So,
Geordi
can't flirt.
No, he's terrible. But I forgot that it is the scent which first speaks of love. Here you go. See, it's Lady.
Yep.
From that one episode.
I mean, she's very cute.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Geordi. Come on. Hi. Well done. Look at Worf.
Worf's so uncomfortable.
Oh, it's like, oh, this is sad.
Commander LaForge, you suck. Allow me.
Oh, God. That was sad.
Allow me to read some Klingon love poetry.
You do, Worf. That said, I think the only thing that could make Geordi's flirting game worse is if he learns to throw people from Worf. And that's the only thing that could be a step down.
Well, here we go.
Good power walk. They have a very good power walk.
Good team.
They mock that. I'm just remembering. Don't they mock that in Lower Decks? At one point, you see the upper officers walking by and like floating.
You do.
It's like,
now that is a beautifully integrated map painting. Look at that.
It is very nice. Captain Wildman.
I believe this may be the first introduction of this physical prop, right?
Ooh, oh, very gnarly.
So the shuttle he's in, this they use this several times, I think.
The teeth are not where they should be. That's the only thing.
It's a nice detail. It's very Terminator.
It is very Terminator. It's just that the teeth are actually very visibly on the cheek,
right.
So they're not.
Now, where he's. Oh God, is this right on his brain?
Oh God, why are we doing this?
Okay, something weird happens here, right? Something goes out of him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, why would you do this?
There you go. A swish. Help me, die! I broke my back picking up a peanut! Love it. Now, look at the position he's in. How the hell did he crash and fall out backwards? And also get hit in the brain, or whatever.
The answer that you're looking for is shush.
Yeah. Don't think about it.
Stop thinking about it. That is the mark of very good special effects makeup, though. When something looks concave into the face, that is exceptionally difficult to do. It's like those teeth.
Very hard.
Those teeth you could tell were not in the face.
Well, anytime they show Data's, like some flip some part comes open inside of his head, they've got little LEDs and stuff in there. It looks really good.
They do well at that. Trying to remember which sci-fi series it was that we watched recently. Oh, there was something in Stargate. There was an episode of Stargate that had really good costume makeup. I will say, I think Stargate's surprisingly good for alien costume makeup. They push it a lot farther than... Hilariously enough, I think they push it farther than Star Trek in many respects. You get a lot more weird and varied aliens in Stargate than you do in Star Trek. It's not just facial ridges.
Well, that's a good point. We get Captain Nog.
Yeah.
Later on. Actually, no, we don't get Captain... They've officially made it Captain Nog. I think he's Captain Nog in, like, one of the ancillary... I think he's in online.
It is an online, yeah. Who would make a good admiral, Omar asks.
Well, obviously we get Admiral Janeway.
Yes.
At the end. And she even turns up in movie that we can't name.
Riker will settle into Admiral nicely.
Yes, eventually. I think certainly he will.
Picard's too restless.
Unpopular decision, but...
Arm?
What's the... Admiral Shelby from Best of Both Worlds.
Yeah.
The very ambitious blonde lady. Because you know she'll rise through the ranks as fast as she can. She'll end up on the Federation Council or something.
She definitely will be an admiral. I'm still undetermined about good admiral.
She'll be head of Starfleet operations or something by the end.
It's ATP production. Well, ATP's a real thing. Good on them. Not using it right, but it is a real thing.
They're trying. They're trying to give some credence to the made-up science.
The thing is, the med bay is the one place where the science doesn't have to be made up.
Yeah.
For the most part, at least.
Oh, look, it's a binaural gel pack.
It's quite pretty. Oh, apparently Farscape has very good creature makeup.
Oh, yes, it does. It does.
Oh, the Henson Creature Workshop.
They're all animatronics.
But,
so you have some really wild designs. Like there's an alien that has like a very wide, kind of thin. Looks like some sort of fish creature. It's got like a triangular. Looks like he's got a hat on or something.
Apparently, they did really good makeup too, though, which was partially done by the Henson workshop.
Well, yeah, the Henson creatures did. So there's several creatures on the ship that are essentially Henson. They're made with the same technology as the Muppets, but they're not. They're not Muppets, obviously.
Thank God.
They're supposed to be realistic aliens. We have not watched Farscape. At some point, we will, and I know that there are people that really love it. There's an actress that you really like, who we've just seen introduced on Stargate.
Ah, yes.
Vala. She's in Farscape. Yeah, Claudia Black, exactly. Now, this assistant doctor lady, we don't see her again, I don't think.
No, I feel like I would have recognized that hairstyle. Looks a bit like a cupcake.
Right, so this little element they do at the end of Season 3, the Season 3 seemed to be the we're going to develop the goddamn characters season, because everybody gets development. Worf gets development, Picard obviously gets development at the end. Excuse me, Riker gets more character stuff to do. All the characters get more stuff to do. And then Geordie, that little yellow kind of spirit, whatever it was, little will-o-wisp that went in his head, he starts saying, "Oh, I feel great, right?" So it kind of makes his personality much more confident. He kind of does a Barclay.
I was going to say, that is a little too reminiscent of a Barclay episode, but yeah.
But the show forgets about it.
Yeah.
And it never gets brought up again. And it doesn't seem like his character in Season 4 there's no consequences to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to do anything. It's not like he's suddenly a ladies' man, or he's suddenly like really confident and really great at his job, more so than he was before. He's just still Geordie LaForge.
Would you say of all of our main characters, Geordie has the least character development?
Yes. In fact, I think that's one of the biggest mistakes with Geordie LaForge, is that he's just kind of a bit boring. Mm-hmm. Which is a shame, because LeVar Burton is so wonderful in the role. He's so likeable.
I would say surprisingly followed by Riker.
Yeah,
Riker doesn't actually get much character development.
Well, as we've said before, Riker's character development ends at Best of Both Worlds. Yep. After that point, he's stuck as the guy that doesn't understand technobabble and has to have it explained to him.
I am going to make the controversial argument that Data has the most... Well, Data... If we're not counting DS9, so we can't count Worf's character development in DS9, then I'm going to say Data has the best character development.
More synthahol.
Obviously, Worf does if we also count DS9. So he gets a lot more time.
True. Now here you go. He goes over and talks to Lady.
Yes.
I'm going to sit here with the blue capsule.
Come on, Geordie, you can do this.
Oh my!
Ooh. Little forward, but oh, Geordie!
Fucking hell! The 80s flirting of this. Oh. Look at him! He's so proud of him. I've been tutoring him. I totally forgot about that.
Well done, Worf. Well done.
There's a lot of lightness. There's a lot of humour in TNG that's sort of missing from
missing. Yeah. It's completely devoid.
No.
It's almost anti.
One of these days we've got to... It's so hard, though, because they've made almost as much new Star Trek as they made in the 90s now.
No,
it's so hard to... Yeah, we're going to be in Season 5 of Discovery next soon. It's so hard to watch these without thinking of the things that this is doing well and later ones are not.
We try, guys. We really do.
Without,
Look, he's laying on soundproofing foam.
So we just had some of that lying around in the radio studio next door. Recording booth. That would be uncomfortable as hell to sit on.
Yeah.
To lay your head on? Can you imagine all those little...
Important question, though, would be, did he have the facial ridges before the accident?
Good question. Did they just paint those in assuming that's what was there before? Well, okay, let's continue the ridges, connect them up. Yes, that's what's there.
It's like connect the dots. Oh, boy.
I like these crazy science lab devices. Oh, we've got some dumbbells over there as well. Starfleet issue dumbbells with lots of labels on them, I'm sure.
Of course.
They love putting labels on things. All those little orange, or whatever they are, kind of brown labels.
Yeah.
Crimson, maroon labels.
Steven says something about, in season 1, Geordi prepping to become a captain?
Yeah, well, he commands the battle bridge. There's that one episode of called The Arsenal of Freedom where he kind of has a command. The captain leaves him in command and he has to kind of rescue the ship from that automated defense weapon. Yeah. That seems like they were setting him up as being that kind of character, and he was in a red uniform. But then in season 2, yeah, he becomes...
Yeah, he wasn't in red for too long. Not gonna lie, John, I can't actually think of a Trek cameo that I thought was good. I mean, under the assumption that Guinan and Q don't count as cameos anymore.
Not really, they're recurring roles.
Yeah.
You know. They're not regulars, series regulars, but they're not.
Another person for Crusher to fall for and not have. That's a trope in itself.
Oh,
Crusher falls in love with someone she can't have.
There's the one with the Trill, there's the Ghost. There's the... I don't know what else.
Crusher can be a little lovesick. I know who the worst Star Trek cameo is.
Who's that?
Try and guess.
Kirsten Dunst.
No.
The Rock.
No. There's one worse.
Iggy Pop.
No.
Am I still not getting that?
No. I'll give you a clue. It's in Enterprise.
Padma Lakshmi.
There we go. Very good. Which I like her...
Mrs. Salman Rushdie, number 3.
I like her as a host of...
Was it Iron Chef or something?
No. She, Top Chef. Sorry,
Top
you can be forgiven.
Yeah, I can.
I really like her as the host of Top Chef, but my God, was she execrable in that episode.
It's terrible,
It's really bad.
The thing is, you're with Connor Trenier, who is wonderful as Trip. And he is trying so hard to give her, like, comedic stuff. They're trying to have a witty back and forth, and it just doesn't work.
Guys, if you haven't seen that episode of Enterprise...
With Padma Lakshmi. Yeah.
Oh, my. And yes, Omar, Lego Star Trek would be amazing. Ooh, his neural nets. I think she has a thing for his neural nets.
When the ladies have a thing for your neural nets, that's when you know you're in.
Oh.
Yeah, so... This is a classic kind of mystery episode, but Doctor Crusher is the one that can figure it out. There is another later on one, which I quite like, where Doctor Crusher has to kind of effectively be... can't remember the name of the episode, but it's a mystery where Doctor Crusher has to solve a mystery, and it turns out to have a kind of medical solution.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one where they're trying to get this... Oh my, look at this!
Oh.
See, he does get the girl in the end.
I mean, how long does that last? But well done.
Now watch Riker very closely here.
It's Shit-eating grin is my favorite thing.
So this has been taking
It's been a week.
It's been a month.
Oh!
It's been a month, they say. It's that, that guy recovering is... It's taking as much time, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love the shit-eating grin.
He's got some confidence now.
Yeah.
And all of this is just kind of cruelly forgotten about.
Yeah, that's really unfair.
Because it would have been so nice for him to kind of grow into that in the next season or two.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily to completely change him or anything. What the god? How is he? Is he dressed as...
They keep this going on DS9.
They do, of course.
He's always getting hurt going kayaking in the holodeck.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know.
But what the hell is he wearing, though? He's wearing the most 90s set of colours ever.
To be honest, kayaking garb is still awful.
It is. It is.
Whimpering in pain. The captions are whimpering.
Colin Meaney does not whimper.
I don't know.
Colin Meaney makes you whimper.
He really is more of a villain character, isn't he? Villain actor, I
He's
should
playing
say.
against type in Star Trek, which I like. I like that he's kind of he plays a sort of everyman hero.
Yeah.
He's more you identify with him.
What are we watching him as the villain recently?
Oh, he's in Stargate Atlantis as the leader of the Jedi.
Yes.
He's also a henchman in the Under Siege film, the first one.
Ooh, there we go. This is fun.
Ooh. He's got Rey Skywalker powers now.
Wesley could not be more prim and proper if... Oh, God.
He looks very good in the red uniform, I've got to say. Compared to the last one, the previous episode he was in that horrible grey getup. Now he's in the proper red uniform.
He kind of looks out of the 50s, though, with that hair. It looks like it's going to crack.
He does. He does look like he's about to... I don't know, he's going to be on the Dick Cavett show or something. Oh no, what's the one? The Andy something show. Anyway, whatever. Some 50s show.
Oh, boy.
Mom, it's okay if you want to bang him. I won't be mad.
You're really laying that all out for your son?
I mean, I guess after what they've been through, it makes sense that they would become quite close.
Oh, of course, of course.
And also, she's been away for a year, and he's done a lot of growing up in that year.
True.
So I think she now sees him as a young man.
That's true. That's true.
Andy Griffith show. Thank you, Stephen. Stephen's always got my back with the references. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. Stephen, seems like you talk about this. Come on.
Well, as long as we have Stephen here, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's why Stephen has to be in every one of our streams. Yeah. For when we have no idea what we're talking about.
This is a lovely, sweet scene.
It is.
And it's a good example of the... Now, contrast this to the episode at the beginning of the season where she's back and Wesley yells at her for not having been there for him. Mm-hmm. And she says, "I'm here now, let's see." And you can tell it hurts her so much. And now look how much they've developed over one season. They really seriously wrote this. They tried to write this season of the show properly. It's not so.
Oh my god, the show's even heard of mRNA.
Look at that in 1990.
Not saying they're using it right, but they've heard of it. I like all the props. That's the kind of prop that I want I want on my shelf. I don't want a tricorder. I want some really weird, one-off, obscure prop.
Yeah. It looks like body wash. Actually, I want a body wash dispenser that looks like that. It's got like the little... Although it looks like it's got microplastics in it, possibly.
Yeah.
Which would not be good.
I just want our shower to look like the Sonic showers.
Ah, that'd be so nice with the blue light. Just,
yeah. Bathe in the blue light.
Star Trek ethics questions. At what age do they let you use the more exotic holosuite programs? I mean, that's a bit like having to look through your kid's iPad and seeing if they've Googled Harry Potter nude.
I mean, seeing as Starfleet headquarters is in the US, I'm going to say probably 21.
Affirmative.
Affirmative.
I love how they have to lead the computer by the hand through all these kind of... I know what you're trying to do. It's obvious.
Yeah, they did Geordi wrong.
I just think it was a slight disservice to the character. It's a bit like the Chakotay character where...
They did wrong by him.
Clearly Chakotay was meant to go out with a blaze of glory sometime in, I guess, season 3 or 4. They were supposed to have a proper mutiny, and they were going to resolve, like, all the Maquis were going to probably either get... Most of them would probably get killed, and then the ones left over would have a choice of either being kicked off the ship or having to actually join the crew and be loyal.
Yep. No, they kind of chickened out on that one.
Yeah. And then Ronald D. Moore just went and did that with Battlestar Galactica.
So the detail work on the ears there, I will say,
is
impressive. Again, it's just another case of forehead ridges, but, they're a little bit more... I will say, Voyager... I love Voyager, but the forehead ridges towards the later seasons got so bad.
They sort of ran out of ideas, I think.
We have so many different alien species that were just some variety of slightly different forehead ridges and absolutely nothing else different. It got really bad.
I mean, every script you get, it's like, oh god, I've got to invent the look of the Tarmagonians now.
Well, yes, you came on board as a designer for an alien show. What did you expect? You know that when they were writing DS9, they said, yes, we want 2 of the main characters to be Ferengi and a Cardassian and a Klingon. The makeup department was like, oh, for Christ's sake.
That's going to be expensive. A lot in 10 forward this episode.
Interesting white turtleneck he's got there.
Again, people commenting on the Enterprise being massive. That's a trope as well. People being impressed by the even quite advanced species being very blown over by how insanely huge the Enterprise D is.
Am I the only one who's ever thought many times that 10 forward is just way too small for a ship that big? Like, think about how many people are on the ship.
Yeah, but look, I think...
I know, but think about how many people are on this ship, and that's your bar?
I know.
Do you have to make reservations 2 weeks in advance?
The thing, it's supposed to have 1,000 people on it.
Yeah, exactly, and your bar can hold like 50 at a push.
Well, I think the implication is that this is only one of them. Now, if you ever played that Stage 9 Enterprise simulation game that was being made all by volunteers, they actually were filling it out based on what the blueprints done by Rick Sternbach were. And he put other bars all over the ship.
Okay, alright.
So there's like a 6 forward, and there's like a 14 starboard or something.
Okay, alright, that's fine.
And each of them kind of look like this.
We just, okay, 10 forward is the main one we say.
Yeah.
Alright, I can accept that. I also, in that case, like the idea that Guinan just spends all day doing the rounds between the different ones.
Because think about it, if you spend all day working at the arse end of the ship, you don't want to have to take a 14-minute turbo lift journey to get to the other end, do you?
No, I suppose not.
Just to get a drink.
Suppose not.
You want to be able to nip into the local across the corridor. 10 forward was an officer's bar. That's a good point, actually. Although, Lady that
Yes.
Riker is, not Riker, what's his name? Geordi is kissing. I don't think she's a crew member.
No.
She just seems like she's like a, I don't know, researcher or something.
Yeah, that's a good point. What is she doing on this ship?
Yeah, I mean, maybe 10 forward actually carries on round more of the ship than we see. I don't know, maybe it carries on round the front of the whole saucer.
I've always thought
Best they could do. It is a bit small, but it's the best they could do on the budget.
I know. And our overall, our main sets are very impressive for the show. 9.72.
The ship, I think, one of the original ideas that they had for the... They've toyed with this a couple of times. One of the original ideas they had for the bridge was actually to have a 2-level bridge.
Yeah.
They've been trying to do this for a while, but they just can't figure out essentially how to shoot it.
Well,
And they ended up doing the 2-level idea for the engineering instead, which I think it works much better to have that kind of long two.
I mean, it's kind of heinously impractical to have your captain shouting up to a level above him.
Right.
Like, reverse!
And how do you get people up and down? Do they have to get into a turbo lift, or is there like a little stairway or something?
I assume that they're using the same thing they use in engineering, which is that little platform.
Right.
I really like that little platform. I think that's quite clever. It's, it's not a full lift.
Plus then, if in a battle you can have an awesome stunt where somebody flies off a control panel up here and
Ooh, Dr. Thomas' jacket. Lab
yes, that's the one, the blue.
Dr. Thomas torn hers up a little bit.
Yeah. And she's a little wonky, Tana. So.
Yes. Well, Tana always seems to me like a slightly wonky Crusher. Oh no, he's getting all glowy.
He's doing a spot of going yellow.
Tana always seems to me like Crusher's that's gone a bit off. With a little bit of with a little bit of Pulaski, of course.
Wasn't the L-Baz destroyed? I thought that was the shuttle that future, what's his name? Future Picard escapes on in that weird episode Times Square.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that they've destroyed a shuttle and then it turns up again. Especially not in Voyager.
Oh god, yeah. But the joke is they must be like taking apart bits of the ship to rebuild the shuttles, yeah.
Variable gravity area.
This is quite an awesome set with the kind of the control booth up top. Yeah.
They had a lot of great sets. I know I tease about 10 Forward, but they had some really great sets.
Red alarm.
Very good. Worf. This is a bad idea.
You'd think on a starship with all the kind of sudden lurches they can make if they get hit by something. You can see where the tape's going.
Oh, you can!
Oh my god. This is obviously quickly built. Oh no, and he gets thrown out the way. Oh,
oh, ow! Ow!
You'd think they wouldn't have like a low railing. You'd think they'd have like some proper, like, I don't know, wall or something in between.
You would. Oh, Worf's dead. I like that. We've just kind of casually killed Worf for a minute. Yes, well, we've seen him do that before.
love ship interceptor.
Very shippy.
Giant space money.
Where's the lionfish? Ah, there it is. The lionfish that changes like every 3 episodes.
Lovely USS Stargazer.
Yeah, if you watch the episodes enough, you notice the lionfish gets bigger, and then it gets smaller again, and then it gets bigger, and then it gets smaller again. Why did they pick a lionfish of all things?
So this is a bit of a trope. You've got Lionheart, Mr. Lionheart from that early episode of Babylon 5, where Talia Winters' old lover. You remember the black guy, who's a telepath, and they're chasing after him. They're trying to get him because they know they've been experimenting on him and they've done something to him which was making him change.
Yes, I remember that now.
And he's a telekinetic. He's not just a telepath, he's also a telekinetic. And at the end, he changes into something beyond...
very mild Babylon 5 spoilers. But
yeah, he ascends. He ascends, essentially. And this is a similar kind of idea. So is Kess, effectively. Kess does the same thing. She sort of ascends to a higher plane of existence. That's like a bit of a trope.
It is.
And I suppose if you think about it, so does Stargate.
Yeah.
You have the idea that the ancients ascend or whatever.
Have you seen the episode where Kess comes back? You haven't seen that one, have you?
I think I have watched it. I just don't like to rewatch it because it makes me annoyed.
It's such a terrible, terrible episode.
Now, do you know that episode of the ship with the ball in the middle of it?
Yes.
That's that ship, but they took the ball out.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. It's a redress.
Oh, that's very funny. Money, go Moss. Save yourself some money.
Yeah.
Make that one again.
They've claimed this. You can see where it would be. I think they covered over the gap or whatever, but...
nice little regress you got there. What is it with the jumpsuits? Why do we gotta do so many jumpsuits? Who was
it? Especially in Blu-ray, it leads to some awkwardness.
Yes, it does. I just really want to know who thought that jumpsuits were the future. There's so many sci-fi shows.
They do the jumpsuit.
Yeah, people in the future are all wearing jumpsuits. Why do people think jumpsuits are the future?
Well, as the cast found out, jumpsuits are hella uncomfortable. Give you back problems and stuff.
Except for Troy.
Except for Troy, who just has to wear a jumpsuit anyway, because lady.
Lady. That sounds like a bullshit charge.
Also, we're 2 for 2 on repressive governments.
Possibly. Yes.
This is going to be another planet of, like, don't visit these guys on the list, isn't it?
Oh, boy. Also, that's interesting. You have 2 hours to comply. Why would you give them 2 hours to think about it?
I've got a Skype call from my family. I'm going to go do that.
You're giving them time to make a plan and to think about it. I mean, say 20 minutes. I'm not saying do the very stereotypical trope of 1 minute. But, 20 minutes.
Thing is, I've never had that much of a problem with the... Yeah, so look at how they've covered over the whole...
Very good.
I've never had that much of a problem with the Enterprise uniforms. I actually loved that they looked a little bit like they could have been kind of NASA jumpsuits.
Yes, I really liked those.
That was kind of the idea.
I thought that they were, like you said, I thought they were a logical step from NASA.
Although, yeah, they are basically overalls with a colour stripe. Yeah,
but that's what they have. I think it's right. Oh, Blu-ray. Please no Blu-ray.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, please no Blu-ray.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
We're getting into some David Bowie labyrinth territory.
Oh, let's not. Let us not. Oh. I mean, I'm a full-on Enterprise apologist. We all know that. With the exception of the theme, which is the worst thing to ever happen to humanity.
Which theme?
If boys and girls don't know which theme, I'm not going to suggest.
Yeah, but which one? Could you sing a little bit of it?
I wouldn't do that to
I'm curious
our
which
audience.
one you want.
I wouldn't do that to the boys and girls in the audience. That would just be mean. Don't.
God, so close to doing it. So close to doing
dare.
it. Subscribers going down by 2.
We don't have 2 to spare. Yeah, we also love Labyrinth. We're not dissing Labyrinth. We're dissing certain portions that you see well in remastered versions of Labyrinth.
You remind me of the babe. That's great.
We are most certainly not dissing Labyrinth. Labyrinth is fantastic.
Power voodoo. Voodoo. You do.
Yeah, jumpsuit that fasten in the back that is indeed a mistake. It looks like a wetsuit where you have like a ribbon on the zipper that you can pull.
The thing with the Enterprise ones is they were just so baggy, and so
Oh yeah, it really is that chip, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
They just put that thing over the hole.
They do this a lot. I mean, there's the classic. Sorry, I'm stumbling on my words there. But there's the classic. The Husnock warship comes back like 80 times in Star Trek with. It gets redressed as different kind of triangle ships. It's the one with the long isosceles kind of shape. It's kind of cut off front. Mm-hmm. You've seen that a bunch of times.
Oh yeah.
It comes back on Deep Space Nine. It's always the ship that's docking up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kind of generic kind of transport.
I just think it's very cheeky when Eagle Moss makes one of them and then they make multiple variations of it.
They haven't done that.
Have they not?
No. Really? That's one of the things they promised they wouldn't do.
Oh,
because that's what everybody does do. Is that they decided they weren't going to do like just rename the D and call it the Yamato, and then get the Challenger, I guess.
All right. Well, good on you, Eagle Moss. But then they do decide to do a clear Defiant.
Oh, no. The thing is, there were certain ones I really wanted. Like, I wanted them to do. Obviously, they do the 3 different Nebula class ships.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them to do the Sutherland, not the what was it, the Honshu? I think they did the Honshu,
mm-hmm.
which is only in one episode later on. Oh no!
What? What are you doing to Picard?
They're choking them all.
No! Be nice to Riker.
Yeah, these weird species, they've got some crazy telepathy powers.
Doing a little Star Wars here.
It is very Star Wars, isn't it?
I shall pinch your neck.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Ah, your numbers.
Choking is what triggered my memories. Are they going to go and unchoke all 1,065 people?
We don't really have time for that. Everyone on the bridge is currently dying.
Oh, just have him touch the wall. There you go.
There we go.
Kills the whole ship.
Oh, Riker was just face down on the ground. Oh, Riker. And everyone tuck in their shirts. Everyone do nice to tuck.
Do the Picard.
Oh no, Blu-ray, why?
I'm talking about.
Oh, hi.
That's impressive. It's a good thing you didn't miss and just put him into space.
I like the patterning on the outfit.
Yeah. Oh, Stephen has a question for you.
Ah, okay. Let's see. Loading. Panelists, do you guys think they have any cetacean ops, and do you think they have more than 2 beluga whales on board the Enterprise? I absolutely think that they do.
Yes, they do.
They absolutely do. And there's definitely some dolphins in there. There's definitely the dolphin division. I think
the idea of the cetacean ops was only introduced because, again, those blueprints I just mentioned, Rick Sternbach had said Deck 17 or whatever is the cetacean ops, and it's like right in the center of the Enterprise. And I think he just put it in there as a joke, but now they've like made it a real thing, which is great.
I love it. I think that they're helping with deep space telemetry.
Very good reference.
Yes, and with the echolocation, they would be very good at, long distance sensors. There we go.
Oh my god.
Oh. Oh, that doesn't look great on Blu-ray, does it?
Not so much.
Oh, look, you can see the bump on the head. You can see where
and you can see the crease.
Oh.
Now, did you ever watch Community?
I did not.
There is a great episode of Community where they're trying to come up with a mascot or like a character who will embody the spirit of the community college, and they can't agree on anything. So what they come up with is somebody in that kind of suit.
Boy.
It's the community college human. That's all they call it. It looks just like that.
Oh god, they needed to turn up the overexposure more. It needed to be much higher.
Yeah, things that would wash out all their faces, wouldn't it?
I know, but oh no.
I don't know. I still think it looks okay.
It's fine. I still love this episode.
Yeah, I mean the creases.
The creases are just. The creases are bad.
Ooh, I forgot one of ascending to a higher plane of existence.
Yeah.
Vija.
Yes.
That might have been the origin of that whole idea. Because clearly Gene Roddenberry had a bit of a thing for this kind of idea. The idea that humans may eventually reach, I don't know, like Vorlon status.
Wesley doesn't count as that, does he?
Oh, look.
Very good, very good.
And that's a lovely, I don't know what they did to do that, but it looks very like the gas cloud that attacks Q. The Calamarain or whatever they're called.
Oh god, yes.
The effect that they did is absolutely beautiful.
It's very nice.
I don't know, and it's just practically done. I bet it's just some sort of like crazy reflective thingy.
Stephen was just saying, I love that the belugas have uniforms. I also love that the belugas have uniforms.
Right, well, do we have any final thoughts on those two episodes?
I mean, it was just kind of nice doing a couple of stronger Crusher episodes.
These are just kind of random. But yeah, perhaps Dr. Crusher could have had some more, some more potential if they'd actually given her things other than the very obvious kind of romance plots that they gave her.
Yes.
These kind of plots where she has to... Because she also had a very forceful... She wasn't quite like Picard exactly, but she also had a very forceful moral sense. And that was what's so nice about the High Ground, is that she really gets to tell him what's right and what's wrong.
But also, I will say, I really like those episodes. Crusher had very good character moments. However, in both episodes, her character development centered around her fawning over someone.
Yes,
and I'm now trying to think of a Crusher episode where she's not fawning over someone.
And then that's the problem.
Does she get one?
No, not really. Except if you count the Bubble Universe episode. But then that's
pushing it a bit, but yeah, there's that.
But her character idea in that is essentially that she's scared of losing people. And that's what starts off the whole thing as everybody starts disappearing. That
still counts though. I'll count that one. But these are not the only two episodes where Crusher is falling over someone.
The ratio is like 5 to 1 though. So like of her episodes. Also there's the space mystery one, which I do like.
Yes.
Where she has to solve a mystery.
That
good. One is good.
That's
so
good.
Okay, 5 to 2.
I did very much enjoy both of these episodes. I think that Crusher's episodes get better later on.
Yeah. So I think the basic problem is that, Crusher she is potentially a good character that largely works well as a part of the ensemble.
Yes.
But when they focus on her, they just don't make quite the right decisions.
Yes.
Same with Geordie. Because that whole thing about Geordie suddenly finding more confidence, which wasn't mentioned for the latter part, we needed one little bit at the end of the episode.
Oh yeah, we also just completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about that.
Yep, we just needed to cut back to him at 10 forward saying, well, I'm a new man now.
Yep.
I've found myself. And then that tees up the idea that for season 4, there's going to be a different Geordie. It's going to be confident Geordie.
I forgot about that as much as the episode did.
Well, I think at the end of season 3 there were some writer changeovers.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually Maurice Hurley changed over. So whoever wrote Best of Both Worlds Part 1 did not write Part 2, and it shows. Because the solution that they come up with is not as exciting as Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
We will do Best of Both Worlds
We will.
someday. The problem is it's so overdone.
Yeah.
And it's been so commented upon. But at some point we will do the 3-parter Best of Both Worlds, because I consider family to be the concluding part of that story.
Yes. We'll do that as a 3-parter.
Yeah, we will.
Indeed.
Well, shall we call it here, everyone?
Yes, this has been fun.
This has been very good. Thanks for bearing with us with glitchy technology at times, but there we go.
Today went better, though.
It went a bit better. We didn't have too much trouble with the Netflix. Okay, well, we will be back possibly at some point to do some Star Trek movies.
Indeed.
Once the Blu-ray is out. Or
I can't wait to do Star Trek 4.
We will do Star Trek 4. Possibly we could just do the mid-period trilogy, just on its own. And then whip back and do motion picture.
Yes.
Because I do genuinely love motion picture.
I like that plan.
Anyhow, guys. Until soon.
Indeed.
Thanks for hanging out with us and watching Star Trek stuff.
Night, guys.
Bye. Have a great rest of the weekend.
Bye. Stay cool.
John Smith, nice reference there. It's been emotional. Very good. Vinnie Jones reference.
Stay cool, guys.
Yes, definitely. Stay cool.